बिनीवाले साहेब झालं का सेट करून सगळं?
Good morning, everyone.
गुड मॉर्निंग.
Dr. Yogesh, have you joined?
A very, very good morning to everyone here. We are about to begin in a few minutes. We have already crossed around 200 participants. We are just waiting for a few more to join who have registered, and we'll begin. We would like everybody to write in the chat box Dear all, it's a wonderful networking opportunity for everybody here. So I would request everyone to introduce themselves in the chat box. It's really great to see everybody writing in their introduction. Everyone is requested to please type their introduction in the chat box, as this is a great networking opportunity. We'll be beginning in a few minutes.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Yogesh Pawar.
Good morning, everyone. This is Rajendra Biniwale, and I take this opportunity to begin the session for which we are all waiting. It's a wonderful morning and a wonderful takeaways from this morning. We'll wait for a couple of minutes so that there are some participants who are joining. I'm getting some messages. So within a minute, we will be starting, a minute or two maximum.
Dear Rajendra ji, thank you very much for that. We are going to start exactly at 10:40. 10 minutes from now, we will have people coming up. Let me quickly also introduce some very important people who are there in this webinar right now. We have our guest of honor, Shri Praveen Dokre ji, who is the chairman of Universal Forces Industries. Mr. Dokre, welcome to the webinar, and we are all eager to also understand your success. So, thank you very much for joining in with your entire team. We have already crossed 240, I think, people have already joined in, and I'm sure in a short while we'll complete 500 people bare minimum in this webinar. And I understand and have also been informed that people have joined in with their families, and I'm so happy about that, which means if I really take a good count, we should be at least 1,000 people in this room today. So people have joined across the country. We have people from Gujarat, Telangana, we have people from Tamil Nadu, we have people from Delhi, we have people from Haryana, Odisha, we have people from Rajasthan. So it's such a wonderful morning that all of us are going to spend. So I recommend everybody to stand up. I recommend everybody to stand up for our national anthem, because that's the protocol that we follow. I'm in a minute going to start our national anthem. On a count of 5, request everybody to stand up on their place as we start off our national anthem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे, जय 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 हे.
Thank you, everybody. And it is definitely a pleasure to have all of you on this webinar.
Thank you, Dr. Yogesh Pawar. And I take this opportunity now on to introduce you, welcome you all to this beautiful morning wherein we are celebrating a talk by Shri Gaur Gopal ji on regenerating, reinventing ourselves. Initially, to begin with, I would like to talk about a person who is a catalyst of all these groups that are actually functioning to make every event successful. Dr. Yogesh Pawar, who is a catalyst of growth, who has contributed to the growth story, handholded the growth story of more than 500 people, and he has impacted the growth story of more than 3,000 plus businesses. He is a founder of SIL, School of Inspirational Leadership. RISE, which is a new age chamber of commerce, is a brainchild of Dr. Yogesh Pawar, which is formed by alumni of School of Inspirational Leadership. It is a foundation, it is an NGO created by entrepreneurs, for the entrepreneurs, and run by the entrepreneurs. It works on a simple philosophy of contribution, growth, and collaboration. We are a 2-year-old organization and are doing some wonderful job. And the first of its massive reach that we are planning is Inspiring India Movement. Inspiring India Movement is nothing but immunity booster for SMEs and MSMEs. This is a groundwork that we are doing for almost 14 months that we'll be doing now onwards. And after this span of 14 months, what you will see the result is outcome of the fabulous stories of growth of SMEs and MSMEs. Various product launches, joint ventures, equity, venture capital, lot of things, lot of business growth stories that you will be seeing, and all these 14 months will be utilized for deepening in, getting into these SME stories in making and showcasing them to the world in coming time, into 2021. I'll not take much time because time is very, very valuable today, because everyone is eager to listen to the chief guest, eager to listen to Dr. Yogesh Pawar. I will request Dr. Yogesh Pawar to take it further and introduce Mr. Dokre, who is a guest of honor today. Thank you, sir.
May I request the administrator to make Mr. Dokre the co-host? By the time Guruji comes in, we will definitely understand what all is the message that we are intending to pass. So Mr. Dokre, good. So nice to see you. I think you are in your native, or I hope you are at your home or native.
Yeah, I'm in my home.
Okay.
In my house.
Okay. So how is your initiative of serving, I think, 10,000 people in Corona right now? That's what you've done. You've packed food and you've given to people.
No, actually, it is not that big figure.
Okay.
But we started with 1,000 serving, intention of serving for 1,000 people.
Okay.
We have completed almost 700 people. But rest we are planning, but because of some bitter experience during distribution and all, we had to that is why then after first round of distribution of food grains, we put some amount into chief minister's fund, then prime minister's fund,
Okay.
and that is how we are taking our this social activity ahead.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm sure you'll keep continuing and doing what you oftenly do. It is so very important for all of us to understand universal forces and Mr. Dokre's story, which is genuinely very inspiring. Around 4 years back, I think me and Mr. Dokre interacted for the first time, and I have seen him growing leaps and bounds. And I think people in this room, I think we are almost crossing 300 people now, should definitely know his story, and that's exactly one of the reasons why I requested him to come on this platform and share. So I have certain questions which I would take. This interview would continue even after Guruji's session. So before we start off, how did you enter business, Mr. Dokre? Do you belong to a family business, or how's it?
No, actually, let me say good morning to all my friends first.
Good morning. Good
Uh,
morning.
yeah, you keep on asking questions, and I forgot to welcome all.
Welcome all. Yeah.
Actually, I also wanted to thank Mr. Yogesh Pawaji for being uh, for being including me as a member for this great inspiring India moment for today's session, and allowing me this honor, and I'm really fortunate to have Dr. Yogesh Pawar as my teacher, my guide, and my dearest friend. Uh, Mainly, I think all participants like me who are now even more experienced in business for 20 years are really bowing our heads in front of Dr. Yogesh Pawar. And actually, I would like to assure all the participants that whenever we come in contact with Dr. Yogesh ji, we feel more powered and energetic.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, the main question how I came into you in this business is, see, basically, I am little less educated person. I came from a mediocre farmers family, uh, say around 125 kilometers away from this place, Pune. Uh, we were seven siblings, and I remember when I was at the age of very young, around 7 8 years, there was even problems for all of us to have enough food in from our own agricultural fields and things like that. Yeah, I remember that there was no electricity in my village. That is why there was no source of watering the fields. Even uh, in the uh, years of 1978 80s, like that. Uh, I also would like to make note that I got a road in my village in 1972, which was my birth year, and we had a very big drought, and that road came as a result of those uh, drought work, which लोगों ने कुछ ऐसा सरकार ने जो स्कीमें बनाई थी, कुछ काम करके लोगों को कुछ खिलाए, तो उसके अंदर वो सब हुआ था. But even in that situation, my elder brother, he was really a brilliant person, like yours, I can say, Yogesh ji. I don't know how, but he was very fond of education and those things. He was the first person to come up with engineering education from my taluka place, uh, in that area, 1975, like that. And because he was ex COEP graduate, we all having him as an idol in front of us. And when my father passed, when I was at the age of around 8 years, my brother took all the family charge, and he brought me to Pune for education. I don't know whether if he would have not brought me to this place where I was been today. So uh, as usual, when I also would like to make note that I am a Kusrowadia student.
Oh, wonderful.
The
Wonderful.
great institute from where today's speaker is also groomed up, uh, Gaur Gopal.
True, true.
So I completed my diploma education from Kusrowadia, and because of the economical situation, I joined. It was not possible for me to pay fees for private colleges and to continue. I joined my services with Bajaj Auto. But within a year's time, I came to know that repeating automobile job, making same production again and again was not my cake. So then I left and I joined Praj. Uh, Praj, when I joined, I remember that it was a site job for me, site erection and fabrication. Job was little harder, but because I was from a farmer background, hard work was not a
A problem.
I mean, it was not hard task for me. It was
Yes.
even easier task for me than to use brain. So so then
True.
within my that tenure of working with Raj, I learned a lot about fabrication. There was no ego, and that is why I could touch the actual uh, uh, म्हणजे लोखंडाला स्वतः मी काम करू शकत होतो त्यावेळेला, उचलू शकत होतो, वेल्डिंग करू शकत होतो. And that is how I developed interest in that uh, uh, yeah, field of area. And once you develop interest, get it. So during that tenure, I came across some inspirational friends. Like one was Mr. Kadam. He was pure strong Maratha. Kadam was from Kolhapur, and he does not like Marathis to do service, to नोकरी करायला त्यांना बिलकुल आवडत नव्हतं. And then he started pushing me, why if I am such a hard worker. So I mean, he was saying that I was intelligent, I don't know.
Very modest.
but but
Okay.
but 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 then he actually put those seeds in my brain that I should not continue working for longer time, and I should start something. Situation was also demanding, so because it was lower education, the salary was low, then the efforts were more, and the aspirations, uh, because of my brother's higher level job, he grown up very fast, and I felt I start feeling I'm leaving behind, and that is why that fear, that stress started in my mind. Then I came into contact with Mr. GY Bide, who was my senior colleague, my boss that time. He made me learn all chemical engineering regarding distillery. Even if I am a mechanical engineer, I could do it very fluently and speedily. And then when Mr. GY Bide left Raj and started his business, he invited me to join him, and he offered me some fixed contracts of around 2 lakh rupees each. 3 contracts he offered me. He even assured me to pay some advance. I was earning 5,000 rupees salary per month, and he gave me 30,000 rupees as advance. So there was no reason for me to look back, and that is how my destiny supported me, and I came into the business. Hello.
Think I think that is definitely a good way of the story. I'm sure a lot of us will get motivated about it, and I'm sure that it will it will help you to move forward. Uh, I think it is also time we have Guruji who's already come in. So we will continue with your story, Dr. Ji. But it is important that we also now look at Guruji and get Guruji online, understand from him the best thing that we can do. And I'm sure I'm wishing all the best to you to move forward as well. I have
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
more
sure, sure.
questions, but as in the process, I
I,
will
I
I will
think he
ask
has,
you that.
sir, I think he has joined. That's what there is a message.
Oh, okay, wonderful, very nice,
I
very nice.
think so.
Okay.
Just see. I am not able to see, but
Yeah,
he has
I
joined, and
will be.
his
I will be.
Sagar is also joined. His assistant.
Yes.
Just
Guruji,
check it.
Surely, let us welcome Guruji.
Yeah.
yes, yes. So here you go. I have certain things that before I start off and he starts off, let me quickly share certain things about him for people who will know a little more but would want to little more know a little more about him. He is an electrical engineer and has studied from the COEP College of Pune. Uh, After a brief stint in HP, he decided to upgrade his career to become a life coach. Since then, he's been speaking at various prestigious academics, institutions, corporate firms in India and abroad for over 2 decades now. He has spoken at the United Nations and twice at British Parliament. He has spoken to many charity events to raise funds for social events in the field of education and rural development. His motivational videos are viral and have reached over 500 million views, with over 4.5 followers on Facebook, over 1.5 million followers on Instagram, and over 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube. He is also called the urban online monk. He's also awarded by the prestigious Gold Play button as recognized by YouTube, by one of the most popular channels. In addition, Wikimedia awarded him IWM Award, the best spiritual and motivational show on the internet. Furthermore, he's also awarded the ideal young spiritual guru by the Indian Student Parliament, MIT Pune, for his remarkable contribution in offering spiritual guidance to the world at such a young age. To add, he was awarded as the honorary doctorate by KIIT University in recognition of his contribution towards society. He was also awarded Lokmat's Most Stylish Life Coach Award. His debut book, Life's Amazing Secrets, which is an Indian national bestseller, sold 250,000 copies in just 6 months. He also received the Crossword Book Award for being the most popular non-fiction category in 2019. Based on the timeless wisdom coming down from the sages, his talks make the guidance think deeper and find simple solutions for difficult problems. May we all join our hands to welcome Shri Gaur Gopal ji into this webinar and help us bless with a lot of wisdom. Guruji, pranam.
Pranam ji. Thank you very much, Dr. Yogesh Pawar, for that kind introduction. Quite a long one, sorry about that. It's my great pleasure, privilege, and honor to be with all of you this morning. And I want to express my deepest and sincerest gratitude to Dr. Yogesh Pawar, the chairman at Arise, and to Mr. Niranjan Gadgil, the vice chairman, Mr. Gopal Ojha, the office bearer at Arise, Mr. Rajendra Benivale, the program manager for IIM, of course, not Indian Institute of Management, of course. I was wondering, am I doing a program at IIM? Ahmedabad Award, but then I realized this is not IIM, Indian Institute of Management. It's something like called Inspire India Movement. Quite a good IIM though. And I also want to express my gratitude to Mr. Mohan Anturkar, the program head acquisition, who's made this possible and has liaised with our team for me to be with all of you. And of course, my sincerest gratitude to every single one who's joined in for this event, or this virtual event. I'm very, very grateful to be with all of you this morning. And gratitude to Mr. Pradeep Dhokre. He's an alumni from the college that I also did my diploma in electrical engineering from, the Kusruwadia Institute of Technology. And thank you, Mr. Dhokre, for sharing your inspiring story, a story of struggle, a story of focus, a story of dedication, a story of commitment to reach where you want to be. There is no question of getting where you want to be unless you have that one-pointed determination, that one-pointed commitment, that one-pointed dedication to be able to reach and to dare and to be able to fulfill your dreams and aspirations. So I am absolutely thrilled, grateful to be with all of you. Wish you all a very good morning again. Like Dr. Dhokre said, he forgot to say good morning. So I also probably forgot to say a good morning in the beginning. But a very, very good morning. Apne sarvanna suprabhat. Aap sabko suprabhat. And I thought I would share a couple of my thoughts with you this morning on how to move forward in this difficult time of the corona pandemic. आप में से कितने लोगों को स्कूल में गणित पसंद था? How many of you guys liked mathematics in school? I know a couple of you are raising your hands. How many of you absolutely hated? कितने लोगों को गणित से बिल्कुल नफरत थी? I know some of you are raising your hands. How many of you felt, I don't care a damn, खाक फर्क पड़ता है गणित से? I know most of you are raising your hands now. Mathematics is what it is, One teacher came to a class and said to one of the students, if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. Simple, है ना? ये equation तो हमने बचपन से सीखा. A is equal to B, B is equal to C, then automatically A is equal to C. She told the student, इसका एक practical example दे मुझे. The guy said, simple है madam, I love you. You love your daughter. Therefore, I love your, आगे नहीं बोलूंगा मैं. Oh, I must tell you, mathematics is what it is. Studying at Kusrowadia and then at College of Engineering, Pune, COAP. Goodness mine, mathematics, engineer लोगों के दिमाग में ऐसा fit होता है वो mathematics. Any of you study a bachelor's in engineering, you know how horrible M3 was. जिन्होंने इंजीनियरिंग पढ़ाई की है उनको मालूम है M3 कितना एगनाइजिंग भूत जैसा होता है वो इंजीनियरिंग स्टूडेंट के सर पे. But because I'm an engineer and I always looked at everything in mathematical equations, मैं जिंदगी को भी एक गणित के इक्वेशन के दृष्टिकोन से ही देखता हूं कई बार. मी ना आयुष्याला देखील एक गणिताच्या इक्वेशनच्या दृष्टिकोनातूनच पाहण्याचा प्रयत्न करतो. I try to observe life in the form of that equation, and there are many ways. कई नजरिए हैं जिंदगी को देखने के, बरेच दृष्टिकोन असतात आयुष्याला बघण्याचे. There are many different angles of vision to look at life. But here's one equation I feel is extremely crucial, guys. If you can simply understand this, fit it into your systems, ये गणित का equation, ये जिंदगी की गणित का equation, if you put it into your system, यदि ये आप आपके जहन में उतार लेना, trust me, life will be different for each and every single one of us in whatever we are doing in our lives. And at this particular point of time, in handling the insecurities, worries, stress that comes because of the uncertainty of the corona pandemic aftermath, the after effect of the corona pandemic. So this is my equation of life. One angle, ek drishtikon, ek nazariya. Life is equal to constants plus variables. Constants are those which we cannot change. Constants are those which we cannot do anything about. Constants वो चीजें होती है जो हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं होती. In an equation, when you have pi is a constant, 3.14. Whether you're a Yale graduate, a Harvard graduate, an Oxford graduate, a Stanford graduate, a COEP graduate, or CWIT graduate, wherever you are from, you cannot damn change pi. Pi is a constant and it remains constant. It will always remain constant. There are going to be situations in our life. There are going to be parameters, elements, factors in our life. जिंदगी में ऐसी परिस्थितियां होंगी, ऐसी सिचुएशंस होंगी, ऐसी मुसीबतें होंगी, ऐसे स्ट्रगल्स होंगे, असे संघर्ष असतील जे आपल्या कंट्रोल मध्ये नसतात. Those things are not within our control. They are the constants in the equation. And if we try to change those constants, to try to change those constants is like trying to hit your head against a wall. Wall won't move. Your head will hurt. दीवार पे सर मारने से दीवार नहीं हिलती, आपके सर को चोट पहुंचती है. और आप अपने आप को चोट तो पहुंचा ही रहे हैं by worrying about those things that you cannot change, by those things that are not within your control, filling those damned crappy things in the head and irritating ourselves, stressing ourselves, getting depressed, getting frustrated, getting anxious, getting worried. Just a part of life, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? देवी और सज्जनों, उन constants को बदलने की कोशिश करना, to try to change those constants, is only hurting us inside. And trust me, by hurting yourself and by worrying about things, things do not change. Simply by stressing yourself with the current situation is not going to change. By simply saying corona go, corona won't go. Corona जाणार नाहीये नुसतं corona जा जा म्हणून. आणि जगातली परिस्थिती बदलणार नाही फक्त तुम्ही चिंता करून. Which is why I've always said, चिता and चिंता. चिता और चिंता में, इन दोनों शब्दों में केवल अनुस्वर मात्र, एक बिंदु मात्र का अंतर है. The only difference between the word चिता and चिंता is an anuswar, a dot on top. But in real life, there's a gulf of difference, guys. क्योंकि चिता एक बार जला के खत्म कर देती है, चिंता पल पल जलाकर खत्म करती रहती है. चिता The funeral pyre burns you once and finishes you. Chinta, worry, anxiety, stress, insecurity keeps burning us, finishing us, sapping our vital energy, sapping our vital enthusiasm every single moment of our life. इसीलिए कह रहा हूं, दीवार पे सिर्फ सर पटकने से दीवार नहीं हिलती, सर को चोट जरूर पहुंचती है. We do not move the wall by hitting our head against the wall. We only hurt ourselves, unless you are a compulsive alcoholic. अगर एक नंबर का बेवड़ा शराबी है ना कोई, तो उसको क्या करेगा मैं नहीं बोलता. Once a guy came up to me and he asked me, Swamiji, what is more powerful? 10 liters of milk or 500 ml of vodka? सवाल भी किससे पूछ रहा है? मेरे से, स्वामी जी से. I said, look, firstly, I am a Swamiji. Secondly, I am a teetotaler. I never drank alcohol in my entire life. So I will tell you, milk, 10 liters of milk is way more powerful than 500 ml of vodka. The guy said, wrong. Galat hai Swamiji. मैं बोला कैसे? He said, look, you drink 10 liters of milk. Then go and kick the wall. Punch the wall. Hit your head against the wall. दीवार हिलेगी क्या? No, nahin. He said, simply drink 500 ml of vodka. Stand in one place. No need to kick, no need to hit, no need to do anything. Wall will automatically start moving. उसको एक झापड़ लगाने का मन किया मेरे को. I'll tell you something. Hitting your head against the wall doesn't move the wall, guys. It only hurts you. है ना? Which is why, firstly, in the equation of life, that first element is constant. Things which are not in our control, things which we can do absolutely nothing about, do not even bother. Do not even bother to spend your precious mental space, to spend your precious mental energy, to spend your precious time, and to spend your precious resources. You spend your energy, the space, your resources, and your time on trying to fight something that bloody doesn't move, that bloody doesn't change. What is the point? In hurting ourselves and destroying our peace. हमारी शांति को भंग करके समस्या सुलझती नहीं, समस्या उलझती है. Because earlier, if your mind was peaceful, you're in a better position to deal with the problem. When you're not peaceful, you're in a worst position to deal with the problem. And therefore, with constants, do three things, guys. Number one, identify them. पहले उन constants को पहचानो. Understand what are those things that are not in your control at all. The second thing, accept those. स्वीकार करो उनको. केवल आइडेंटिफाई करके नहीं चलेगा. स्वीकृति जरूरी है. Acceptance is essential. You know why? Because once you accept that this is not something that I can change, you know what? Half of your energy is saved. Otherwise, if you're just trying to fight, this is not happening, ये नहीं हो रहा है, इससे मैं कुछ कर लूंगा, half of your energy is spent on things that you can do nothing about. Save your energy. इस मोमेंट में आपको अपनी एनर्जी सेव करने की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है. Don't waste your precious energy on things you can't do anything about. So identify, accept. And third, do not dwell on those thoughts constantly. जितना आप उन विचारों पर ध्यान लगाते रहेंगे ना, उतने वो विचार बढ़ते रहेंगे. जितना आप भूखे कुत्ते को खिलाते रहेंगे, वो कुत्ता मोटा होता रहेगा. Whatever you feed, that becomes plump. So if you're going to dwell on those constants constantly, they're going to take over your life. और इसीलिए, the first aspect of this equation is constants. Identify them, accept them, do not dwell on them, and do not try to hit your head against them to see that you can change. You're wasting your mental space, mental energy, time, and resources on changing something that you cannot. And you're simply allowing the wall to hit you, because दीवार तो हिलेगी नहीं, सर को चोट जरूर पहुंचेगी. ती भिंत हलणार नाहीये. तुमच्या डोक्याला त्रास होणार आहे, तुमच्या डोक्याला लागणार आहे. म्हणून स्वीकार करा आणि त्याच्यावर जास्त विचार करत बसू नका. नुसता विचार केल्याने जर प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्ह होऊ शकला असता ना, मग करा ना जितका विचार करायचा आहे तितका. If simply by thinking and worrying about things, if you could solve a problem, man, I would worry day and night if my worry could solve the problems. Unfortunately, it only complicates it. And therefore, the second element of this equation of life is the variables. The equation of life. Life is equal to constants plus variables. Those constants you can do nothing about. And those variables are something that you can change. Variables अपने हाथ में होते हैं, उनको बदला जा सकता है, उन पर काम किया जा सकता है. You can do something about it. And as soon as the more you focus on constants, depression. What else will you get? The more you focus on variables, hope. The more you focus on constants, lack of self-esteem. The more you focus on variables, confidence. The more you focus on constants, negativity. The more you focus on variables, positivity. The more you focus on constants, hopelessness, frustration. The more you start focusing on variables, progress, step by step, bit by bit, little by little, inch by inch, but progress. Because it is a variable. आपकी height है ना, constant है, वो बदल नहीं सकती. आपका weight है ना, variable है. Your height is a constant, you can't change it. Your weight is a variable, you can work on it. You know, your height, what people think about you is a constant. दूसरे आपके बारे में क्या विचार कर रहे हैं, constant है. What you think about others is a variable. What people talk about you behind your back, कितने लोगों के मुंह बंद करोगे आप, is a constant. कुछ नहीं कर सकते. What you talk about people is a variable. The corona pandemic and the effect on the market and a horribly, terribly, economically, horribly, terribly going down scenario and the economic slump. Constant. आप क्या कर सकते हैं? What can you do? But what you do for yourself is a variable. Ladies and gentlemen, life is about taking charge of the variables. Show your life. Who is in charge? You are in charge, not your mind. Show your life that I am in charge and I take control of my life. I take control of those variables. I take control of what I can do. I take control of what I can change. And the more you shift from what you can't do to what you can do, see how empowered you feel. See how surcharged you feel. See how hopeful you feel. All this, I'm sorry to say, I was going to use a slang, but I'm not going to. Sometimes I get into complete full power, and then when I'm in my full power, sometimes I say things. Usually I'm very careful of not saying things like that. You know, trust me. Sometimes I see most discussions are too much analysis of the problem and not about how we can take charge of the variables. उस problem को analyze करके क्या होगा? You gave your brilliant opinion. You gave your brilliant analysis. I'm a part of so many panels and so many events I go to. And trust me, the panelists give their own brilliant opinions. Go out and have a peg of vodka or whiskey and it's done. And the poor people who came and attended, what are they left with? Ladies and gentlemen, you will only be able to empower yourself. Not just by analysis is important, don't get me wrong at all. I'm not criticizing or condemning. It is important to analyze the problem, but sometimes there's so much analysis, it's paralysis in analysis. Analysis से paralysis हो जाता है. And therefore, it is important that we start focusing on how we take charge of our lives. Show Corona. Show the after effect of Corona. Show all your anxieties and your worries and your mental instabilities. Who is in charge? Who is in charge? Because if you're in charge, you will be variables focused, not constants focused. अगर आप in charge हो ना, तो आपका ध्यान constant पे नहीं जाएगा. उसका analysis करेंगे जितना जरूरी है उतना. But our attention, our focus, our energy, our time, our resources will go in dealing with those variables. This morning, I want to offer to all of you a couple of pointers on how you could focus on those variables. What are those variables that you need to look at? इस परिस्थिति में आप क्या कर सकते हैं? And let us focus on what we can do, because that will change everything for you. The world may not change. Your world will change. There are two worlds, the world and your world. The world is an objective world for everybody. And no matter what you do, the world doesn't change. But your world, you can definitely change. And you know what? The world is made up of 7.5 billion our worlds. The entire world, the objective world, is made of 7.5 tiny my worlds. And if each individual tries to rectify, correct their worlds, we are looking at a better the world. And therefore, you may realize that the world is a constant. But please understand, my world is a variable. And which is why there is a great need to work on my world. अपनी दुनिया, अपनी जिंदगी, अपना रास्ता, अपना सफर, my journey. And here are the couple of things I want to offer to all of you as variables, especially in the context of what's happening at the moment. And please do apply that to everything for the rest of your life, not just for this, right? Wisdom is not limited to Corona pandemic. It comes to the forefront because of this pandemic. But wisdom is applicable at all situations, at all times, and in all situations throughout our lives. So here's the first thing. Never, ever, ever give up hope. If you give up hope, everything is lost. अगर एक चीज नहीं टूटना चाहिए, वो है हौसला. Everything can go. It's okay. Your business will be destroyed. It's okay. You may lose your job. It's okay. Your salaries will be cut down. It's okay. I'm not saying okay as in it should happen. I'm just saying even if everything is lost, if you have hope, जिसका हौसला नहीं टूटता ना, he or she rebuilds it back. We can rebuild everything. We can bounce back with full energy, with full force back again. If we do not lose hope. मैं कई बार कहता हूं, many times I say this, मुसीबतें दिल के इरादों को आजमाएगी. मुसीबतें दिल के इरादों को आजमाएगी, ख्वाबों के पर्दे नजरों से हटाएगी. मुसीबतें दिल के इरादे आजमाएगी, ख्वाबों के पर्दे नजरों से हटाएगी. गिरकर भी तुम्हें उठना है मेरे दोस्त. गिरकर भी तुम्हें उठना है मेरे दोस्त, क्योंकि ये ठोकरे ही तो तुमको चलना सिखाएगी. ठोकरे नहीं लगे, ये कैसे ठीक से चलना सीखोगे? If there's no problem, what the bloody hell's going on in the world? You get experience. You realize how much power you have. You realize how much strength you have only when there is problems. If there are no problems, if there are no issues, you're never going to be able to realize how powerful you are. Because good times don't show you your power. Good times don't show you who you are. It is only the bad times, troubled times, difficult times that you're forced to go deeper. You're forced to tune into your deepest strengths. When times are all going on, externally ऊपर से जब सब अच्छा चल रहा है, कौन भीतर घुसता है, शराब पी के टून नोच के घूमता रहता है वो. When times are bad is when you look at yourself in a deeper way. इसीलिए ना, one of those variables I feel is कभी भी hope नहीं छोड़ना चाहिए. मोहम्मद ऋषि साहब और तलत महमूद साहब की आवाज में एक बहुत खूबसूरत गाना था. बहुत अच्छा लगता है हमको गाना. गम की अंधेरी रात में दिल को न बेकरार कर. गम की अंधेरी रात में दिल को न बेकरार कर. सुबह जरूर आएगी. सुबह का इंतजार कर. Has it ever happened that it was night and it was not morning the next day? Has it ever happened that the sun set and it did not rise the next day? Ladies and gentlemen, at the current moment, we are in the dark phase. But no dark phase has remained a dark phase forever. The sunrise happens. And you can't demand the sun to rise. The sun rises by its own time. People around the world are trying to figure out the vaccine for COVID. They're trying to figure out researchers, inventors, healthcare workers, governments, non-profits are all trying to figure out some solution. Stay home, stay safe, follow social distancing. All of this is there and we will do it. But solution किधर है अभी? सूरज को बुलाने से थोड़ी सूरज निकलता है. अपने टाइम से निकलेगा. तब तक इंतजार करना पड़ता है. सुबह जरूर आएगी. सुबह का इंतजार कर. And I'll tell you what, this variable called hope should not be some sentimental hope. It should be data centered, numbers centered, history centered, statistics centered, hope. ये जो आशा है, उम्मीद है, ये उम्मीद केवल कोई भावना केंद्रित नहीं होनी चाहिए. ये उम्मीद इतिहास केंद्रित, स्टैटिस्टिक्स केंद्रित, डेटा केंद्रित, नंबर्स केंद्रित होनी चाहिए. And why I say this? Because I want to bring to all of your attention the power of humanity. I want to bring to all of your attention the power of human intelligence, human grit, human determination, and a human force. We all have gone through so many issues, guys. We've had the swine flu. We had the mad cow disease. We've had Ebola. We've had the Spanish flu. We bounced back. इसमें से हम सब बाहर निकले हैं. इतिहास गवाह है. History is witness to this. Numbers, statistics, data are witness to this. In the year 2008, we were all confronted with a massive global recession thanks to Lehman Brothers. एक किसी की गलती से, एका कोणाच्या तरी घोडचुकीमुळे सगळ्या विश्वामध्ये, the whole world was in a big, massive economic turmoil and economic mess. We bounced back. Together, we came back. Ladies and gentlemen, hope is not simply some sentiment and emotion. Hope is based on history, data, numbers, statistics, that every single time there has been an issue, every single time there has been a problem in this world, we as a humanity, we as a power, we as an incredible force have defeated it. Why is Corona going to be an exception? If no situation in the world in history has been an exception, why is Corona going to be an exception? Why are we messing our minds up? Together, we will be able to come out of it, ladies and gentlemen. And therefore, the first essential principle of making our attention focused on the variables is always focus on data and be hopeful based on data, not simply based on some sentiment of the mind. Here's my second variable that I want to propose to all of you. ये दूसरी चीज पर भी ध्यान दीजिएगा. Invest. Don't just invest in hope, data-centered hope, but invest in the right process. A lot of times I say, a lot of times we find that the farmer is trying to, Dhokreji was telling us how he came from a farmer's background. And I'm sure Shri Pradeep Dhokreji and many other people who come from rural backgrounds and whose family has been into farming can vouch for what I'm saying. And it's a no-brainer actually what I'm saying, but it's good to take note of it. You know what? Rains are not in the control of the farmer. बारिश किसान के हाथ में थोड़ी होती है, वो कांस्टेंट है, किसान उसको बदल नहीं सकता. But tilling the soil, plowing the soil, sowing the seeds, the process is the variable. Rains may be a constant, but the process is a variable. And if the farmer keeps working on the process, whenever the rains come, he's future ready. Are you future ready, guys? Are you future ready? Your being future ready is directly proportional to how much you invest in the right process right now. Don't keep cribbing. Don't keep complaining. Don't keep crying. Cribbing, complaining, cringing, and crying doesn't solve any bloody damned problem. It doesn't. It doesn't solve any bloody damned problem. But the right kind of investment in the process, it's not going to pay you anything now. When the farmer invests in the process of tilling the soil, plowing the soil, making sure that everything is in place, it doesn't pay him. Sometimes the rains don't come. He can be depressed and it's okay. You don't need to be positively, you don't have to be a victim of toxic positivity. Everything is hanky-dory, sab acha hai. We are depressed. जब नहीं हो रहा है तो नहीं हो रहा है. But depression से काम नहीं चलेगा. Invest in the process. And if you invest in your process, trust me, when things are better, you will have a cutting edge over all those others who did not invest in the process. Whether you are an SME or an MSME or a whatever you are, I don't care. Whoever you are, whatever you're doing, this is the time to refine, to improvise, to enhance the process that you've been following. Because of being so much caught up in the rut of doing things at other times, you don't focus on the process often. Ek mechanically chalta rehta hai routine mein, production. Here's the time to focus on that process, ladies and gentlemen. You know what is the greatest tragedy? The greatest tragedy in life is to not be ready for an opportunity that comes your way. अगर आपके सामने अवसर आ जाए कल, क्या आप तैयार हैं? रोने से तैयारी नहीं होती, डिप्रेस रहने से तैयारी नहीं होती, कंप्लेन करने से तैयारी नहीं होती. Therefore, the second aspect, first, invest in data-centric hope that will keep you positive. Second, invest in the right kind of process and make yourself future ready so that whenever the opportunity does come, you are ready. You have a cutting edge over everybody else who are there, who are doing nothing out there, simply chilling and wasting time and crying and beating their head against the wall and hurting themselves by doing nothing about it, the variables, and focusing on the constants. The third thing that we need to invest in, first, data-centric hope. Second, in the right kind of process to become future ready. The third, invest in people. Your assets are not your strategies. Your assets are not your plans. Your assets are not your resources. Because you may have all strategies, all plans, and all resources, but if your people, your teams are not with you, what a utopia and what a dream. देखते रहो सपने. People who execute what you plan and what you dream for. Take care of them at this time. This is the time to show them we are family. If we have gone through our good times together, we will also go through our bad times together. And I want to share a story with you. I'm sorry, it's 11:35. Am I okay to go for another 5 or 8 minutes? Whoever's meant to be telling me.
Sure, sir. Sure. By all means.
Okay. Thank you. So here's a story that I want to share with all of you. One of my favorite stories. It is something that I have always told in practically each of my corporate events. Some of your bosses in your small scale industries or medium small scale industries that you run. Some of your probably employees, team-led leaders, project managers. And here's a story that I've always told. 2008 में जब Lehman Brothers crash हुआ, in the year 2008 when because of Lehman Brothers crash, there was a massive global recession. In the Midwest of the United States of America, there was a small-time manufacturing company, a SME. It was called Barry Waymiller Limited. When Lehman Brothers crash happened, overnight, Barry Waymiller lost. It was a small-sized manufacturing company. I can't remember what the product was. Overnight, Barry Waymiller lost 30% of their standing orders. And you know what that meant? That meant a loss of 10 million American dollars at that point of time. Even then, that was a lot. That's about 70 lakhs Indian rupees. Right? 1 million American, I'm sorry, yeah, approximately, yes. You know, they lost so much money, 10 million US dollars. The then CEO, Bob Chapman, called for a board meeting. Said, kya karenge? What are we going to do? You know, $10 million loss. Hamari galti thodi thi. We didn't make Lehman Brothers crash. It wasn't my mistake. It wasn't our mistake. Have you brought Corona to India? No. Is it your mistake? No. Your businesses are being affected because of Corona. Is it your mistake? No. Kya karenge? Bob Chapman, he said to the board of directors, we didn't do it. It has happened. What shall we do? What should we do to recover the $10 million losses? You know what all the board members said? One simple answer. Layoffs. अपने employees को निकालो. इसलिए नहीं कि हम उनका बुरा चाहते हैं. इसलिए नहीं कि हम बुरे हैं. क्योंकि हमारे पास अभी पैसा ही नहीं है यार. We're not able to afford manpower at this time point of time. We cannot pay. So lay off. Bob Chapman asked his board of directors a question. He said, if in your life you're doing bad in terms of finances, you're not doing well financially, you're having a financial crunch, would you lay off your spouse? Would you lay off your child? Would you lay off your parents? आपकी अगर आर्थिक परिस्थिति ठीक नहीं है और आर्थिक परिस्थिति में गड़बड़ हो रही है, आप अपने बेटे को बोलोगे बेटा सॉरी मेरा फाइनेंशियल क्रंच है, बेटा चल तू अपना जा, अपना रास्ता ना बेटा कर ले अपना अरेंजमेंट. अपने बूढ़े माता पिता को आप बोलोगे मम्मी देखिए अभी पैसे का थोड़ा गड़बड़ है, इकोनॉमिकली हमारा प्रॉब्लम चल रहा है, कोरोना पैंडेमिक की वजह से हमारा जॉब जा रहा है, पैसा नहीं है, बिजनेस का प्रॉब्लम है, आप थोड़ा घर से निकल जाओ, देखो अपने रोटी कपड़ा मकान का ना थोड़ा आप एडजस्टमेंट कर लो. What the bloody hell? Would anybody ever say this? Because we consider them as our family. You don't lay off anybody in your family. And if you consider your teams, your colleagues, your workforce, your employees, whoever they are, whatever it means to you as your family, how the bloody hell how the bloody hell can anybody even think about layoffs? How the bloody hell can anybody even think about layoffs with the same guys who fulfilled your dreams, your aspirations, your plan, your strategies by toiling, by giving their blood, their sweat, their tears to execute what you dreamt about? You know what Bob Chapman did? He called for a meeting of everybody in the company, from the chairman to the rank and file employee. हर एक को बुलाया. And when they brought everybody, Bob Chapman came to the dais and he said something that boosted the morale of everybody at Barry Way Miller Limited. If there is one need today, there is a need to boost up the morale of your people. Everything else will come and go. Their morale should not go down. Bob Chapman spoke into the microphone and said this statement. It's my all-time favorite. All-time favorite. He said, it is better for all of us, from the chairman to the clerk, to suffer a little bit financially together than for some of us who will be laid off and who will have to suffer a lot financially. Therefore, here's my proposal, said Bob. And Bob's proposal was the basis of what is today called as the Furlough Program. Bob said, everybody, from the CEO and the chairman to the rank and file, everybody goes on an unpaid holiday of 8 weeks. Each one will go on an even the chairman, he won't get paid for 8 weeks that year. And you don't even have to take those 8 weeks of your holiday or your leave consecutively. You can take those 8 weeks anytime throughout the year. It's just that you're not going to be paid for those 8 weeks. And Bob said, based on those our respective salary structures through the year 2008, 2009, that time during the recession, we will have recovered $10 million. Now, guess what happened? This is amazing. This case study is my favorite. This is incredibly amazing. And this is what you guys need to look at this point of time. बाकी सब चलता रहेगा. अपने लोगों को संभाल के रखो बस. वो संभाल के रखेंगे ना, बाकी सब आ जाएगा समय के साथ. You know what? At Barry Way Miller Limited, everybody felt Bob cares for us. The most important thing is to make our people feel we care. They felt Bob cares for us. And guess what? People in high positions who are paid very well, they started talking to people who were in lower positions with lower salary structures. Saying, Dekh bhai, it's very simple. You cannot afford an 8 weeks holiday because your salary structure is low. And I also know that your father is suffering from terminal cancer. 8 weeks salary nahi milega to kaise chalega yaar tere ko? But I am financially well. I have a good salary structure. And I also don't have any issue at hand. So let's do one thing. Tera 4 hafte ka chutti na main le leta hu. So you go only for 4 weeks unpaid. I will go for 12 weeks unpaid. And this goodness, this humanity, ye insaniyat, difficulty के टाइम पे अपना रौब दिखाने का समय नहीं होता. डिफिकल्टी के टाइम पे मेरा ठंटन गोपाल हो गया, मैं तुमको कुछ नहीं दे सकता, ये दिखाने का टाइम नहीं होता. डिफिकल्टी के टाइम पे इंसानियत दिखाने का टाइम होता है. इंसान तो हर जगह पैदा होते हैं जी, इंसानियत कहीं कहीं दिखाई पड़ती है बस. And therefore, you know what happened? Barry Way Miller, because of this beautiful furlough program, every employee made such an incredible relationship with every other person in the company. That year, when everyone was going through a massive problem economically. Barry Weymiller did not simply recover the $10 million, they made $10 million extra, guys. When everybody was going down, they were going up. You know why? Because people, their people, were giving their blood, their sweat, their tears, their commitment, their dedication, their very life to that organization. They felt this organization is my family. ये मेरा परिवार है. अच्छे समय अगर हमने साथ में देखे हैं ना, बुरे समय भी हम साथ में ही निकालेंगे. Like in your personal families, you take the good times together and you face and go through the bad times together. And therefore, the third variable is invest in relationships, invest in your people, care for them. They are your assets. The biggest assets is those relationships, because they are the ones who will stay with you in this time and help you bounce back to normal. And my last 2 minutes of the fourth variable is, at this point of time, get emotional and spiritual support. Your emotional state varies like a roller coaster at this point of time. Naturally, we are human beings. हम कोई हिमालय में बैठे हुए योगी नहीं है cave में. We are going to get affected by every negative news you hear. Every time the stock market prices fall down, you are worried about what's happening to your investments. Naturally, you are worried about what's happening to the entire scenario. Seek emotional support. Whether it's your spouse, your family, your parents, your friends, whoever it is. ऐसा कोई हो जिसके सामने जाके अपने दिल की बात खुल के बात कर सके. क्योंकि हर चीज का सोल्यूशन नहीं होता. एक दिल की बात खुली बोलने से ना वो हल्का लगता है. कम से कम सोल्यूशन तो कई बार नहीं होता. Never seek that emotional support, and seek spiritual support, whether it's to meditation or chanting or prayer or whatever it is for you. Whether you're an atheist or a theist, doesn't matter. Spirituality is agnostic. It doesn't have to be religious at all. कोई किसी प्रकार का धर्म की जरूरत नहीं है spirituality को. Even if you're a Gnostic, doesn't matter. Connect deeply. Get that spiritual strength. Invest some time in processes like meditation. Even if you don't believe in a power above you, it doesn't matter. You can connect to yourself, if not to somebody else. And if you're a believer, connect to that somebody else. Doesn't matter. But this is the time to invest some time in your spiritual practice. So when you have emotional and spiritual support, it is based on that will bounce back with great dignity, with great determination. ये समय है जहां कोरोना ने हमारा बाण पीछे खींचा है. बाण का पीछे खींचना पीछे जाना नहीं होता. वो शक्ति के लिए है, जिससे दुगने फोर्स से आप आगे जा पाओगे if you invest in these four things. And therefore, to summarize it all and to put it all in perspective now, this morning we discussed that life is like an equation with two elements, constants and variables. Constants are those which you cannot change. To try to change them is like hitting your head against the wall. Your head hurts, the wall doesn't move. So with constants, do three things. Identify the constants, accept the constants, and do not feed and dwell on those constants to make them big in your mind. And then second element is variables. Variables are something that you can do. Shift from can't to can. And what is it that you can do? Four things. Number one, invest your mental energy in data-centric hope, not simply in some emotion and sentiment, but in data and history, to be confident that as humanity, we have always bounced back from any crisis that has happened. Subha zarur aayegi, subha ka intezar kar. Thoda patiently intezar karna hoga. Second, invest in the right process. Because like a farmer, if you have invested in your process, you're future ready. Whenever the rains come, you will be in a position to grow from there. Number three, invest in your relationships. Invest in people, because people are your greatest assets. You care for them, they'll care for you. You work for them, they'll work for you. You give your life for them, they'll give their life for you. And know for sure that there'll be some who will take undue advantage of that also. कुछ लोग ऐसे होंगे जो अपनी अच्छाई का फायदा भी उठाएंगे, लेकिन वो कुछ लोग होंगे, उन कुछों की वजह से ना मेजॉरिटी को आप सफर मत कराओ. And the last is invest in a support system, an emotional and a spiritual support system, which will help you go through this roller coaster ride, which will help you go through this difficult time, this catastrophic time. इस कठिन परिस्थिति से गुजरने में हमें हौसला देगी. देवियों सज्जनों, एक बात याद रखिए, आप सब में बहुत शक्ति है. You guys are powerful. We were not meant to cringe. We were not made to cringe. We were made to conquer. We were made to be victorious. और इस बार भी हम होंगे कामयाब. एक दिन नहीं, जल्द ही. If we together do the right things, we will come out of it. Wish to thank you all very, very much for your kind attention. And it has been an absolute pleasure to be with all of you and share these couple of thoughts with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Guruji, there are, first of all, as we quickly started off, I had some questions which have come from the audiences, and I thought we would, if you can spend a couple of minutes with us for this.
Yeah.
So people have questions. The feeling of uncertainty and ambiguity, that keeps constantly coming to people's way. What do you think is so that how do people manage that uncertainty? Because businesses are dependent on it. So what's
Sure. Sure.
Opinion? Yeah.
Correct. I think when I talk about dealing with uncertainty, ambiguity, we live in a VUCA world, which is volatile, which is uncertain, which is complex, which is ambiguous. There is so much ambiguity. What is going to happen? There's so much uncertainty. Kya hoga? I always bring up the Hindi, Marathi, Sanskrit word called ahar. When we talk about ahar, usually we think about food. Correct? Food is only one tiny element of ahar. Food is simply one element which we consume for our body. Ahar is not just food. Everything we consume is ahar. So what our eyes watch, what our eyes read is ahar. What our ears listen to is ahar. So in a time of uncertainty, please be extremely conscious, mindful, and aware of what are you consuming. Because whatever you're going to consume is going to define your state of mind at the moment. You're already going through your own uncertainty. And by simply reading all the WhatsApp forwards about how many people are dead and what's happening around the world due to this corona pandemic, updates are required, but updates need not be consumed voraciously. Because this update, when you're wanting to read every newspaper, you're wanting to read every news channel, you want to watch every update on social media, it's going to bloody make your mind negative, So we talk about uncertainty and worry about uncertainty, anxiety and stuff like that. 90% of the times we are responsible for our own mental state because we are not conscious in what we consume. At this point of time, there is a great need to be very, very cautious about what you're consuming. And like for the body, when we are talking about a diet for the body, food, there's two elements to the diet, the quantity and the quality. I have an average human being is going to eat 2000 calorie diet every day, average 2000 calories to be fit. That's the quantity. The quantity may be right. You may be consuming 2000 calories, but what's the quality? Rasgulla, rasmalai, cake, ice cream, wrong quality. How will you be fit? So it's not just about quantity, it's quality. So just like for our physical fitness, we moderate the quantity and quality of what we consume. For our mental fitness, we also need to moderate the quantity and the quality of what we consume. So please, ladies and gentlemen, pick up the right books to read. You need that at this point of time. Pick up the right kind of motivational videos to watch. You need that at this point of time. Connect to each other on Aspire or whatever other platforms you are, on social platforms you are as a group, and inspire each other with your positive experience of how you are dealing with it and bring hope to others. This is how we will serve through those and navigate through these uncertain times. So I feel that ahar, that word ahar, what we consume, is an absolute must to be taken note of. And if we do take note of it, trust me, ऐसा नहीं बोल रहा कि चला जाएगा uncertainty, that's stupid to say. But we'll be able to manage it in a much better way than we are doing it now. That make sense?
Very true. Very true. Very
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. That was definitely a very wonderful explanation about it. I have two more questions that I would take.
Sure.
The first question here is, we as an NGO, well, it has been created by a company, and then the alumni pass outs created this NGO. The idea of this is Inspiring India movement is to get people together on a platform and inspire them to do certain right things. We would definitely seek your blessings in this entire process, because it's a year-long process that we are wanting to drive. And
Sure.
one of the things that I wanted to understand from you is, in the process, when you have these big goals, for us it is a big hairy audacious goal, right? So to get, what do you think, what should be our, as an NGO also, I'm asking for people who are there, because there are almost 30, 40, 50 people who have worked really hard.
Correct.
This is probably a question from them. What do we need to consistently work on so that we are able to reach that big number that we are wanting to connect all the entrepreneurs and people who can inspire people around them? So what do you think? 3-4 things,
Sure.
your wisdom for us.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Yogesh, for asking that question. And what would be the vision going forward? To summarize your question, what would be the vision going forward for a budding non-profit, a budding non-governmental organization like yourselves? What would be the vision going forward to see that we really scale up, we grow, we expand, and a lot of people around the country, pan-India, get advantage of this kind of a venture, this kind of a sense of, camaraderie, coming together to work together for one goal. So what would that vision be? The first thing, this is my belief, of course, this is my take on it, and it is my firm belief. If you ask me, my growth journey in the last 3.5 years, from 0 to 4.5 million on Facebook, 0 to 1.5 million on Instagram, 0 to 2.5 million, 2.7 now, 2.7 million subscribers on YouTube, 3 times at the British Parliament, 1 time at the United Nations. And corporations that I've spoken, I can't even tell you numbers and the names. I cannot tell you the number of business leaders, the top-notch business leaders whom I personally life coach in this country, handhold them to success. So I cannot tell you the names of those guys for sake of confidentiality, obviously.
No problem.
But here's my example. This is not to boast, absolutely not. And this is not to throw names and to throw numbers, absolutely not. I'm the last person to do things like that. One of the biggest and the most important thing is to know that we shouldn't be talking about what we have achieved.
True.
At the same time, there's a principle that is coming forth through what we have done with our model, right? And the first thing that we focused on in our model was that we were not after numbers. Because when you're after numbers, you are willing to compromise with the process. People who are numbers driven are willing to compromise their process. If they see that this process is not working to get the numbers, they will adjust their process to simply bring the numbers. But what they adjusted was the right process. Right processes take time. They take time. Once they grow, you're sowing and you're building the foundation. It takes a while for it to actually start paying back and show those numbers.
True.
Numbers are a consequence. They are not the goal. Process is the goal. And the more we focus on the right kind of process, trust me, numbers will follow as a consequence. For us, they have. That's why I told you the numbers. They're big. Our numbers are big. That's why I told you those numbers. I hate to say those, but to tell you that you would be in a similar position, because we were process focused. And hand on my heart, no exaggeration, no lying at all. Even today, I'm not after numbers. I don't care a damn for those numbers. Even today, I'm completely process centric. And trust me, it is investing in that process, like I earlier on said today, that has brought those numbers. So you as a team, please keep this as the bottom line of what you do. Do not ever, ever, ever compromise what is right in the process, simply running after the numbers. It's better we have few, but we have the right kind of people.
Right.
What's the point in having millions of stars if you can have one moon? You know? So look for the moons. Don't just look for the stars. And if you're looking for the stars, look for the pole stars, not for the shooting stars. And you'll only get the pole stars to come and stably be there for you if your process is right. If your process is not right and you make compromise, you'll attract shooting stars. They'll come. But as quickly as they come, that's how quickly they'll go. So
I
I
have
think,
experienced it.
yes, indeed, indeed. So this is my 2P worth of thoughts on
Thank
how
you. Thank you. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you very much.
Last one question. I know I'm killing your time. I don't know if I've extended it, but last one question for everybody. What would be your one single message to all the entrepreneurs in this? Of course, we've got many messages, but one final message that you would want to give the entrepreneurs here, because this is typically an entrepreneurs community. One
Yes.
message of for helping them keep themselves extremely motivated, because it is going to
Sure.
exert a lot of energy from them in these days. So one thing which 100% they should focus on.
Sure. Sure. A teacher once came to a class of 10-year-olds and said to all the 10-year-old kids in the class, I want you to write a sentence in your notebook. First condition, the sentence should only have 10 words. Second condition, each of those 10 words in the sentence should only have 2 letters. Every word should only be 2-lettered word. And third condition, that sentence should make absolute sense. The students were confused. 10 वर्ड का सेंटेंस लिखना है, हर वर्ड में केवल 2 अक्षर होगा, 2 लेटर्स, और मतलब भी होना चाहिए सेंटेंस में, कैसे लिखे? You can write it up, he, to, me. Doesn't make any damn sense. The students were confused, bewildered. They didn't know what to do. So they turned to the teacher. And the teacher wrote on the board a quote by an African-American singer. He's no more there now. An amazing quote, which is my parting message to each one of you. 1 sentence, 10 words, each word with 2 letters, absolutely meaningful. Here's what she wrote. Ready? The first line, the first 5 words. If it is to be. If it is to be. If it is to be. Then she wrote at the bottom the next 5 words. It is up to me. It is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. Nobody is going to change your company. You will. Nobody is going to change your thought process. You will. Nobody is going to change your life. You will. Nobody is going to change your business. You will. And therefore, my parting line for everybody is, if it is to be, it is up to me. And everything I said through the seminar ties into that.
Yes.
That I have to care for my people. I have to make sure I focus on the variables. I have to make sure I'm hopeful. I have to make sure I get that hope, that support. And if I have that, we will all definitely reach success to the optimum capacity that we are meant to.
Wonderful.
Okay?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank
Guruji,
you.
thank you very much. This has
Thank you very much.
some time, and I'm sure on behalf of everybody, special mention to Niranjan, Mohanji, Gopal, Rajendra, Anshul Dingra, who's there, Akshay Seth, who's there. all of us are thanking you from the bottom of our heart for accepting our invitation. First of all,
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you.
joining us, also giving us the information, the knowledge and wisdom that you are sharing with us today. I thank you for coming here. We are going to continue, Guruji,
Sure.
with certain things,
Sure.
and as a part, we would want people to know
Thank
what
you.
like this.
Thank you very much. My
All
best
these knowledge-
wishes, my heartfelt best wishes, prayers for all of you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you,
Have a
Guruji.
great day.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji.
So here we
Thank
go.
you, Guruji.
Here we go. I think people who are there, first of all, thank you very much. There are a lot of people who've joined us from various part of the country. There were certain people who had their methods of how we should look at the uncertainty. If you really notice, what a beautiful saying that he said, and all the four elements that he's spoken about are such wonderful for all business owners, and apart from business owners, of course, for everybody who's sitting in this webinar, whether you are an employee, manager, whether you're a clerk, whether you are a CEO, it all is helping all of us. So my humble request to everybody here is stay tuned. I'm going to explain you what Inspiring India movement is. You can benefit out of this because there's as I said, this is a very, very pious event. It is going to be live on YouTube. I'm seeing certain questions. It's going to be live on YouTube. It was already live on Facebook. You can go to School of Inspiration Leadership, check that out. Business Immunity Booster Session. Yes, it is Business Immunity Booster Session. That was how it was made. I have certain questions now because it is very, very important to learn from somebody who's done it. Now you will get the intention of why we had invited Mr. Dokre, because we all learn from success stories and failure stories. We all learn from people. So whoever is a business person who's waiting here and wanting to learn more, I'm very, very grateful for you to wait here and learn from Mr. Dokre as well, because like spiritual teachers, business leaders, policymakers, all are going to help us. Okay, that's the whole theme of Inspiring India movement. Inspiring India movement is going to focus on keeping people in states like where we have business leaders, policymakers, and more importantly, people from spiritual leaders to come here and talk about. So the goal here for all of us is to ensure that we are inspired on regular basis. And because motivation is like a giant wheel, when it goes down, there needs to be somebody who pushes up, and Arise as a community, which is an NGO, is helping all of us to do that. This is a complete activity which is done all across the country. So my questions need to start with Dokreji. Dokreji, the entire process which has helped you to grow, could you tell me what were the things that you really focused while you scaling up this business? I heard that I know that 4 years back there were certain things that were not great in business. What was that thing that you really helped you to change the entire process?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Yogesh, for asking me this question. Actually, basically, for a businessman and for a SME person, what basic principle we need to follow is to never say no to any opportunity. And that is what the one principle I followed throughout my business career. I remember very well that during my starting, during the tenure of my starting, maybe 3 or 4 years of business, many times, see, the business what I am in, that is basically a project business, and as we all must be knowing, we all
Yes.
know it very well that project doesn't come back to back.
Right. 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 Right.
One project will come, it will be uh, sufficient. Sufficiently bigger tenure, bigger amount of that project that will be there. But once that project is completed, uh, for starting, initially we do not have separate marketing department, separate finance department, like that, and we get ourselves involved in this project during execution, during the recovery of last penny of that business, and then by that time we create a vacuum in between two consecutive projects, and the next project is not with us. So
True.
during that period, I know even maybe we had an opportunity once to work for maintenance of the company
इसको
during
300 का ले लेता हूँ इधर
Diwali
से
period.
कर दे
Yeah,
Okay. Good. Okay.
we came across serving maintenance activities during shutdown of Diwali. So we used to go there. We earned sufficient amount. During my first shutdown period, I earned about 25% about of my total year's income, and then we continued that sequence for around 4 to 5 initial years, which consistently gave me
देख खाई नहीं
25%
जाता
of
मेरे
my
को
yearly earning out of that 10 or 15 days work. So like that, we should not say no to any opportunity.
We should pick it up. We should pick it
Yeah,
up.
and
Wonderful.
that is
Right.
how that is how we can keep it up. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We will keep moving up. The very important idea. I think there were few people who joined a little late when we started off. Let me also quickly reiterate. We are talking right now to Shri Pradeep Dokreji, who is the managing director for Universal Forces Industries. They are into sanitization, sanitizing products, and they are into, they build distillery plants, and the story is from in last 4 years, from a 25-30 crores business. Universal Forces today is a 170 crores business. So how did this happen is this story for everybody, because I think all of us need enough inspiration for the companies that we are working, and for the companies that we are leading. So whether I'm an employee or an employer, it doesn't matter. If I like Guruji right now said, it depends upon who I want to be and what do I do to become who I want to be. So if you focus on it, of course it's going to deliver results. I really liked what Guruji said right now, that the hope has to be scientific in nature. We were talking about, if you realize what he said was, the focus has to be on data, history, analysis, and then the hope has to be built. And I think from a business term, we say it is a strategy. So I think, Dogriji, your strategy of moving forward. If I ask you, what could be your three secret sauce strategy? तीन ऐसी चीजें जो आपको लगता है that you can really, if somebody understands, they can scale up the business. What are those things?
yeah, thank you once again. The first secret I told you, never say no to the business.
Yes.
Second is, you have to be hard work, consistently hard worker for that. See, during what I told you during these Diwali holidays, it was not only my team who was working for maintenance. I personally did not attended any Diwali function for around 4 to 5 years of my initial career. I was always there with this team at on job. So that is how I can say. Second is hard work and consistent. Uh,
That's
you
the
should keep
second
your,
secret.
yeah, you should keep your as well as your team's moral high every time, even if you are earning or not earning. You should keep the moral high. And out of all these, third secret comes, that never calculate profits before they come. You don't work for profits.
Okay.
You keep on working. You keep on working. I am not saying that you keep working without profits, but you keep on working, the profits will follow.
Wonderful. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much for that. The last. I like the last secret. By the way, you keep doing. I think that you are also using the same fundamental that Guruji was talking. That focus on the process, because the output is anyways going to be right if the process is right. I have.
Yeah, that,
What is your advice right now to all our dear friends who are into business, or probably into jobs and have a little fear? How do they start off in Corona? What should, because you, when you spoke to me, you told me the quick change that you have done and started building the sanitizing kind of distillery plants for people. So that's a quick change from distillery to in just 50 days. What was that? So how did you focus on making this shift? What do you think people should do now?
no, my inclination to sanitizer business was actually, it naturally came because the sanitizer, it contains around 70% of that quantity. It is alcohol, which for that business I am already into uh, making alcohol plants. So my customers are the same, and trust me, I had entered into this business, but I had not charged even a single penny for any of my customers. I
Yeah,
did all the consultation for my customers who are very big, very big. But I did it as a goodwill business, and I guided them all how to start sanitizer plants and all. And we did it with no investment. We guided all our customers without making them to invest even a single penny. Whatever equipment, machinery they already have in their place, we utilize them, and we establish more than 3 plants like that. That is the that is the kind. I mean, we did
but
not did
this,
any.
I think all these traits that you're talking about are the traits that what our speaker was also saying, that it is important for us to invest and be prepared. I think from a strategic point of view, what an awesome step to invest in your customers today, so that they
Yeah,
would
I mean,
give you
I
results.
mean, when we did it, there was no question. We all were, see, just imagine, in first 1 month of pandemic, we all were so deeply sorrowed, or so deeply involved in
In
this
fear.
pandemic, pandemic, what we can say, या pandemicच्या संकटात एवढं आपण गुरफटलो होतो. There was no म्हणजे अशी काही इच्छा नव्हती की आपण काही याच्यात बिझनेस करावा, आणि ह्या असा काही बिझनेस करावा का ज्याच्यातनं काही पैसे आपल्याकडे येतील. आपल्याकडे जे आहे ते सगळं आता संपवा आणि कसं तरी जग वाचवा, अशा अशा कुठेतरी भावनेला आपण सगळे पोचलो होतो. आणि त्याच्यामुळं त्यावेळेला काही मला असं चुकून नाही वाटलं नाही का कुणाला काही 1 रुपया खर्च करावा. आणि काही इनफॅक्ट
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
मी खूप वेळ
No,
विचार
the
केला.
feeling of giving needs to be there. The feeling of giving needs to be there, and I have always felt that. What do you think is importance of learning?
सर मी तुमचा शिष्य बनलो हेच इम्पॉर्टन्स आहे.
नहीं तो मुद्दा नहीं है. The question importantly is the reason being. Why am I asking you this question is not because we have a very good relationship, professional, personal, both. But yeah, it is important that people in the conference realize the fact that it is important for us to continuously invest in ourselves, right? So what do you think? Has it really benefited you? That's the question. Because if you say it and you are successful, there are few people who will believe it. And I think wherever you learn from, please learn. Whether you're learning it from books, whether you're learning from institutes, whether learning from mentors like you or spiritual leaders, please learn. So that's that. Rather than taking information, go deep down and educate yourself. So that's how that's exactly why the question was. So what's the importance of learning for you?
Sir, actually, we cannot challenge why not to learn. Learning, शिक्षण एवढी एकच गोष्ट आहे की जी सगळ्या समाजाला, आपल्या देशाला सुद्धा आजचे एवढ्या मोठ्या चेंजच्या याच्यावर दरवाज्यावर घेऊन आले आणि आपण सगळे चेंज होतोय. ऍक्च्युली ऍट अ पॉइंट आपल्याला सगळ्यांना असं थोडंसं वाटायला लागतं एकदा शिक्षण संपलं, कामात पडलो, then we start feeling that okay, now whatever I am doing is sufficient. I have earned sufficient experience. I am exercising successfully. Some positive results are coming in a way. So I am now wise enough and I am learned. But it is all our own misbelief, I can say. See, actually मी तुमच्याकडे जेव्हा आलो, that time, as I said, this is a project business. एक प्रोजेक्ट आने के बाद दूसरा प्रोजेक्ट अब मेरे बिजनेस में प्रोजेक्ट की वैल्यू होती है 1 करोड़ से 50 करोड़. एक प्रोजेक्ट आने के बाद उसको फाइट आउट करने के लिए और उसको कंप्लीट करने के लिए हम लोग कभी उसको कंप्लीट करके पैसा कमाने की नहीं सोचते, उसको डिलीवर करने की सोचते. वो डिलीवर करते करते साल 2 साल तो टाइम अपना लग जाता है. So during that period, we little feel lazy on earning new businesses. और अपना इतना बड़ा बिजनेस भी नहीं है कि सेपरेट बहुत ऐसा एनर्जेटिक मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट होता है, वो अपने आप एक के पीछे एक प्रोजेक्ट आते रहते हैं, ऐसा होता नहीं है. तो फिर ये प्रोजेक्ट खत्म होने के बाद दूसरा प्रोजेक्ट आने में जो वैक्यूम क्रिएट होता है, ये वैक्यूम, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस वैक्यूम most of the reserve funds, the profit fund, they are spent. Then again, we need to keep always in mind that the situation today, what we are facing, like pandemic or financial recession, business recession, these cycles keep on coming. See, if we look at last 20 years, this is the third biggest worldwide recession we are facing. So for different reasons, we this project, I mean, for me, I am saying it's a project industry. It comes under pressure. So see, last when I met you, rather when somebody from SIL met me and I started thinking of joining SIL. I was at my bottom of earning. काही पैसे शिल्लक राहिलेले नव्हते, सगळं जवळपास उधळून झालं होतं. आता कंपनी किती दिवस चालेल याची काहीच पुढं आशा दिसत नव्हती, किंवा काही अगदी जवळ आलं होतं. म्हणजे थोडक्यात आता पॅन्डेमिक आल्यावर जसं आपला धंदा बंद झाला असं वाटलं आपल्याला आता गेल्या 10-15 दिवसापूर्वी, तसंच झालं होतं. पण तेवढ्या वेळात फॉर्च्युनेटली मला तुमच्यासारखे गुरु लाभले. तुम्ही पॉझिटिव्हली आमच्या मनात काही खरोखर बीज रोवली आणि इतकं फास्ट ते सगळं होऊन गेलं की त्या सेम सेशन मध्ये मी तुम्हाला आठवत असेल तर मी तुम्हाला दाखवलं होतं की मला एक मोठी ऑर्डर आली होती बाहेरनं, बिगेस्ट ऑफ माय करिअर दॅट टाइम. तसं तसं आत्ताही आपण असं अपेक्षित धरायला पाहिजे सगळ्या बिझनेस मधल्या लोकांनी की आता हे पॅन्डेमिक संपेल किंवा आपण आता पॅन्डेमिक सह जगायची सवय लावून घ्यायच्या स्टेजला आहोत. तर आता जे कोणी आपल्यासारखे प्रयत्न करतील प्रामाणिकपणे चांगलं मॉरल ठेवून, हाय मॉरल ठेवून, आता जसं गौर गोपालजींनी जसं सांगितलं की विदाउट लुझिंग अवर टीम, जर काही डिफिकल्टीज असतील की बाबा आपल्या टीमला पगार करायला आपल्याकडे पैसे नाहीयेत, वी आर इन फायनान्शियल डिफिकल्टी, लेट अस कॉल द पीपल, discuss them, allow them to suggest ideas, and you without interfering your personal interest, you support their views. तर ही सिच्युएशन आता जवळपास आपण हिच्यातनं बाहेर पडायला आलोय. whoever are going to successfully come out and definitely are going to be strongest in next 4-5 months, and I'm assuring all of you that you are going to develop your business and going to be real true businessmen, going to prove yourself as true businessman. Nothing is going to end up.
Wonderful, wonderful. That is a hope that a man gives who has touched rock bottom and come up again. Thank you very much, Dokreji. You have definitely added a lot of value to this entire event. You have been very generous to support Inspiring India movement as well, and I'm sure your generous support is going to be there with all of us, and with all the wisdom. The operation reboot that we have started for Inspiring India movement, which is anybody who is around Pune, who is around Pimpri, Chinswad, Bosri, Chakan, Delhi, Haryana, Gurgaon, and Baroda. Please write us that what is the help that you need, and we are wanting to give you free. There is no charge for this. This is called Operation Reboot. This is a part of our engagement as Inspiring India movement, and people can get lot of benefit from all of the wisdom that we have in the group here. People have grown their businesses, scaled up their businesses, and as humble as Dokreji, they are ready to now share. Somebody is saying what is full form of SIL? It is School of Inspirational Leadership, Miss Nimisha. That's how it is. The second question I had somebody, I think that is more to do with there was Mr. Rajguru who was asking this question. I would just quickly answer that question. Uh, uh, I am now losing, but yes, hope is alive, and hence I'm attending and finding ways out. Let me tell you, recrafting of vision is required here, Mr. Rajguru. If you are able to recraft your vision, there is high possibility you start finding out answers. So that's how it works. I hope I have answered your question. Dogre साहेब, in Marathi,
Yes.
thank you very much. मला खूप आनंद आहे की तुम्ही ग्रो करताय, तुम्ही आणखीन ग्रो कराल, ह्याच्यात कुठेही डाऊट नाहीये. आपण असेच मित्र राहू आयुष्यभर, याच्यातही कुठे डाऊट नाहीये. फॉर ऑल माय फ्रेंड्स who have been in this webinar till the end, I'm so thankful to you to appreciate our effort, because you have waited here. It tells us that we're doing right job. It is nothing about promoting anything. It is just about promoting a thought called Inspiring India. And this thought, if you believe that we are doing a job genuinely, my request to you is please share it with the world around you. Please share it with please share it with everybody who you think will benefit out of this platform. And whenever we connect you with various aspects of Inspiring India movement, please encourage us by participating into it. So I thank you everybody for joining in. Dokreji, thank you very much for joining in. You have been an awesome inspiration.
एक मिनिट मला एक अपील करायचंय, करू शकतो?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
योगेशजी, मी तुमच्याशी तो सब्जेक्ट ओपन केला होता. आता आफ्टर पॅन्डेमिक all our business SME business partners and friends, we need to rethink what business we can expand into. uh, I think now, after this change scenario, many countries of the world, uh, they are dependent right now on China, and they will definitely look for the alternative sources of products from other part, if somebody can offer. And as an potential SME partners, suppliers, we Indian SMEs, I appeal all my friends to join hands to build some great business, which will be substitute for this upcoming opportunity. We can club 10, 20, 50 companies like automobile. One is big manufacturer, others are supplying parts and like that, into some electronics or chemical or pharmaceutical, that business, which Europeans and rest of the part of world uh, are eager to import. And we should start thinking building something new under this Arise Foundation, Arise flagship, uh, which I am ready
Kya
to do.
baat, kya
And
baat. Thank you very much.
I need some partners.
Of course, we will partner together to build up something really, really good. That's the process has started. It is 1 year that we have to be. I always, it is not me, but it is somebody called as Earl Nightingale says that a man who consistently works towards a worthy idea will always be successful. A man who consistently works towards and worthy idea will always be successful. I think all of us as a team are working towards a very good idea, which is inspiring India, bringing people together, and working towards certain things which are good for the country, good for the state, good for businesses, and we can generate jobs for people around us and make our country proud, and move towards the 5 trillion economy. So there are long shots, but as I said, we need to all move and work towards it consistently. Only then it is going to happen. So, Dokreji, I am with you as always. You don't have to worry about it. Whatever I can contribute, however I can contribute, I'll always be standing besides. And for my friends who are interested in coming together and doing something, please write to inspire at inspireindia.com. My colleague is going to write that email address to you. It is inspire@ariseforindia.com, and I'm so sorry for mispronouncing that. So you may want to write down of what kind of businesses you would want to partner with us. I'm going to share a list of 12 businesses right now, and that's a surprise for all of you. I'm going to share a list of 12 businesses that will show a great traction to grow. Have a look at your chat boxes, and this is the list of the uh, all the businesses. This is the list of all the businesses that will show a huge traction in the next 15 to 20 years for India. So whoever was wanting to contribute, wanting to work with us, work with this progressive community, please join hands with Arise. Please join hands with Inspiring India movement, and we will see that we all grow together. That's the intention. We are a non-for-profit organization, and we believe that we can add to Indian economy. So thank you very much, everybody. Dokreji, once again, thank you very much for being a part of this. And all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Please write an email that you would want to join Inspiring India movement on that email address. Can I ask the admin to write down the number, please, the mobile number, and of course the email address. You can immediately write down, and we'll get in touch with you. Thank you so much, everybody. Once again, it's a Definite pleasure. And I'm sure that all of us will grow together. God bless. Stay safe. Stay home. Only get out if it is extremely important, and maintain the distance. Thank you very much. And bye-bye. See you. Have a great
Thank you, sir. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Dr. Sahib. Thank you very much.
Biniwale Sahib. Thank you
Dokra
for
Sahib,
Thank you.
creating
thank
this
you.
opportunity.
Very good, inspiring session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.